Welcome on in, everybody. Hey, Sarah, star of the show, talent around here, making it look good for always. As some of you might know, we ran into a few technical difficulties. This is actually our second time recording this, and then also YouTube has given us a little bit of trouble. So we've got a few things to settle on our end, but in the meantime, we are all here, we are together, and we're gonna make this happen regardless. If you look at Sarah, what I'm going to be encouraging you all to do while I do my first few minutes of talking in the videos is to maybe do some light warm-ups that you're comfortable with. Maybe that's being on a foam roller like she is. Maybe you have kind of a baseball or a softball and you kind of loosen up the bottoms of your feet while I'm chit-chatting. So very first off, what we wanted to do is do a shout out to small business. So we do this sometimes. This is Amy's business out in Georgia. Amy is a dear lifelong friend of Sarah over here. She has a company called Wired by ALP. They are a great spot to check out for Mother's Day, which is coming up. Mother's Day gifts and graduation. We're hearing everyone doing about their virtual graduations. So it's jewelry, it's household knickknacks, it's cool stuff. You can check them out on Instagram, Wired by ALP, Wired by ALP, and then we'll put them in the show notes as well. All right. Beyond that, our movements are, we're doing our full range of motion stuff right now through this week and through next week. So we're going to have a full range of motion movement partnered with a pulsing movement, and then we're going to follow that with cardio, and we're going to kind of take you through that. So that'll be kind of our difference in the programming, and then at the back end, we're doing our normal 20-10 Tabata stuff. So just be prepared for that. As far as equipment for the day, we'd love you to have 2 items. Something lightweight like some cans is really preferable. Sarah filled up 2 of her water bottles, so she's gonna use that. You could also, if you have like some mason jars around the house or different like 2 items, maybe 2 beers. You know, we're not gonna say drink them, but you know, work out with them. Maybe you put them to better use. So grab 2 of those, 1 intermediate weight, so maybe 1 big water bottle filled up, maybe like a big book, something around there, and 1 heavy item. Think bag, backpack, a heavy weight. Sarah's got her detergent bag over there. So we'll be using the 3 of those, 2 lightweights, 1 moderate, and 1 heavy throughout the workout. Proprioception, understanding what movements we're working throughout and trying to find and feel that throughout. So paying attention as we go. And that's really where, if you're listening to me talk throughout the workouts, that's what I'm describing the most is how the movements need to be done. So if you're confused about a movement, just listen to me while we're getting through all this. After that, if you got your own music, now is definitely the time to be putting it on. We're going to keep our music volumes very, very low because YouTube did not like us having that much louder on. And then last up, check in with yourself. Notice how you feel today. If you're feeling good, great, let's get at it. If you're not feeling 100%, maybe we warm you up into things. And if you have an injury, maybe you're being mindful about that. No sharp or bright feelings are okay in our workouts. We're going to shorten up our warm-ups a little bit, we're going to shorten up our stretches a little bit, and we're going to try and make this thing slightly more condensed for you. Stand up with us, grab a pole, a towel, a broom, you name it, and we're going to start out by just going forward and back, up and over the head. Feet should be a little bit wide. We're going to do 6 of these, so all the way up, all the way back. You can take your hands wider if you need to get further back with those hands. And if you're limited how far you can get back, no big deal. Just go to there and bring it back. Okay, second movement, we're going to go straight to the windmill next. So we're going to, in one direction, go around the head 3 times. Now, if you needed to be a little bit higher up here, that's cool too. That's an option. After 3, reverse it. All right, and figure out where that works well for you, right? Where can you get some nice roll and not feel too much pain? All right, from here, we're going to take this and put it onto the shoulders. We're going to go into that real wide stance. We're going to sit back and down on one of the heels, push it on up, and switch it on over. This is a good one where maybe you can start to add a little depth as you finish through those reps. You get to add some stretching as well. Last one. Okay, stand towards the top of your mat, bring your hands up and overhead. Give me a step backwards, back leg stays straight, and turn to the forward leg side here. Come back to center, stand up through the heel, and switch. So big step back, powerful step forward through that forward leg. And then of course we're getting a little stretching, and you should feel the back of the shoulders active here. So kind of posterior shoulders, what we're trying to get to activate up top. All right, let's take this, put it to the side. We're gonna bring ourselves down to the floor. On our hands, we're gonna stretch out our wrists and our forearms. So we're gonna place our hands right underneath the shoulders, but fingers are pointed towards the body from here. We're gonna just sit back a little bit and come forward, almost like a rocking motion. And if you'd like to put any breathing to this, you're gonna breathe out and sit back, breathe in, come forward. All right, last two of these. Good, and last one. Okay, bring yourself up with your right foot, step forward. Okay, left hand behind the head, lean forward, pull the elbow back. And as you press back, go elbow to knee. Practice the balance early on here. Just kind of slow it down, make your body really force the control factor into what we're doing. We're breathing in, coming forward. We're breathing out, pushing back. Let's go one more, last one. All right, go ahead and switch the knees. Left foot stays out in front, right hand goes behind you. We lean in and breathe in. We push back and breathe out. Perfect. Find a good stretch point that works for you. We're looking for moderate stretch. And just as Sarah showed you, it's okay if we're warming up balance. If you have a little snafu, no big deal. It's not like you're on camera and it's being recorded and hundreds, if not thousands of people worldwide will be watching it.
Or just our parents.
Or just our parents, yeah. All right, that's good. Come on up, shake it out. Mom and Dad, we're not perfect with the balance. All right, so side position next in your kneeling. So we're gonna have whatever leg extended out kind of straight to the side. Point the hand that way, lean into it, and then push back up. Now what I want you to notice at the top is that when we get there, there's a stacking of knee over top of the ankle. Okay, we got 6 of these. This is working on good ankle mobility through here, and pushing through the heel is starting to wake up some of that back leg strength. Give me one more, last one. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's switch it over. Next knee down, foot straight out, toes pointed in that direction. Lean into that, push back up. Breathe in, breathe out. You got it. So find the stretch. You can sit back a little bit extra. You can increase that stretch and keep the knee out to this side. Keep that stretch. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Okay, so let's go over what we're gonna do for the workout from here. So we've got 3 movements that are full range of motion movements, and we're gonna also mix in some cardio and some pulsing to that. So what we're gonna show you is each individual movement. Let's show you first what that squat and wide arm reach is gonna be. We're gonna grab those light weights, those cans. Classic squat position with our feet. We want them shoulder width apart. We're gonna have the weights down at our sides as we go into the squat. And then as we come up, we're gonna keep the arms wide out, bring them together at the top, and smooth coming right back down. Perfect. More manageable approach, you're gonna keep the elbows bent, and you're gonna give me a little bit more of a chicken wing fly, and maybe not as low of a squat through that. So we do that, and then we do the pulse. The pulse is just for the squat. We're gonna stay down, and we're just gonna pulse, barely up, barely down, staying in that bottom squat. Of course, that can be done up higher, more manageable approach as well. So that's our first 2 movements, and then we go cardio. We'll put the cans down, and we'll work on a lateral shuffle for 30 seconds. Our lateral shuffle is like so. We get our feet wide. We're gonna tap them together at once, bring a hand down to the floor, and tap it, and go to the opposite. So 1 click of the feet, side to side, and then 1 hand touching down. Your more manageable approach, step the feet, squat down, step the feet. That's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is going to be on the floor, hip press, and we're gonna have a tricep press with it too. We're gonna be using those smaller cans or those lighter weights. Hip press, hips go up, arms go up. So at the top, everything is up. As she goes down, everything lowers and bends, and then presses back up. Perfect. Then at the top, she holds it, and give me a pulse from here. So she's just gonna actually put the weight on the hips, there, and then she's just gonna do the legs. So for the pulse on both of these, it's just gonna be the legs. It's just gonna be the squat, and it's just gonna be the hip pulse for the pulse on that. We finish up with cardio on that second movement, which is once again the lateral shuffle. Our third and final movement is a full body crunch. So we're gonna keep you on the floor. We're gonna have the arms extended all the way out, feet lifted, starfish position. Breathe out, bring it in. Inhale, all the way extended. Okay? Now your pulse, you're gonna sit up. You're gonna go in and out of a small crunch as your pulse here. More manageable approach, put 1 foot down. Okay? You can always have 1 foot down through that, each one of those movements as that more manageable approach to make it through. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna coach you through it. Where I want you to get ready for first is gonna be the squat and that wide arm raise. So grab some cans, get into a good squat position. I'm gonna put 10 seconds on the clock from here. So get yourself set up for a good squat. Sit into that squat and arms wide. In 2, in 1, we go down and then wide up and smooth coming right back down. More manageable approach. We're gonna keep the elbows bent and we're gonna kind of fly behind us and give you that side point right there. Sit into it and then elbows closer to the body to get more of a W lift, which should still give you plenty of back activation. So we got 40 seconds here and then it's 10 of rest. 40 seconds, then it's 10 of rest. Pushing through the heels is a must for our squat right here. She's breathing in, going down. She's breathing out, standing up. We finish this in 3, 2, and 1. We rest for 10. Next is gonna be just the pulse with the legs, okay? Just the squat pulse coming up. In 3, 2, 1. You get 20 seconds staying low and just maintaining just a small pulse up and down. Now you could be higher up out of that stance as a more manageable approach. Once we're done with this, we got 10 seconds of rest and then cardio to follow. Finished up in 3, 2, and 1. All right, 10 seconds rest. Let's get into our wide stance. We're gonna have our feet clicking and our hands tapping the floor. We get started in 3, 2, 1. Shuffle the feet out, tap the hand to the floor. Shuffle them out or step it out and squat. Step, squat. So 30 seconds here as a little cardio blast. I want you to take opportunity of it. Let's make it count here, folks. Got steady breathing. We got 10 seconds left. If you got any in the bank, push it a little bit. Let's get to this warm-up point in 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Our second movement starts in 40 seconds. You've got an opportunity to get a quick sip of water. Our second movement, as hopefully you can see on the board here, says it's the hip press and the tricep press together. We're gonna be on the floor. We're gonna keep those moderate light weights. 2 of them is ideal, but if you had to go a single weight overhead, that's totally okay too. Sarah, give them a quick example of what we're doing. We go all the way up, we're gonna hold it at the top, then everything bends and goes down. Hips go down, weights go down, and press back up. Good, you can rest. And everybody, we've got about 5 seconds. So get in position, get set. We start in 3, 2, 1. You go full range of motion, hips down, weights up. And as you push up, breathe out. Let's find good breathing into this. Breathe in on the down, breathe out as you go up. Perfect. Now, start feeling and finding more of the body work in here. Feel your low back. Control that. Try to use those muscles to help you going up and to smoothen the coming down. Awesome. We got 10 more seconds, and then we've got the pulse to follow. Last few, folks. Last few finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. You can rest for 10. This is just the hip pulse next. Just the hip pulse next. Weights on the hips in 3, 2, 1. Stay high and just small ups and downs. Let's find your butt. Let's find your hamstrings. I want the back of the legs working. And I also want you to feel the sides of those hips, right, on the outside. Let's find and feel those working and helping us stabilize. Last few, finished in 3, 2, 1. She puts the weights down. We've got that cardio again, so hustle back up with me. Wide stance. We've got the shuffle and the tap in 3, 2, 1. Shuffle, tap. Shuffle, tap. There we go. So 30 seconds right here. I want you to just find somewhere that works well for you. Okay? So if you're walking and stepping it right now, that's cool. If you're feeling great, you're giving me significant pop going side to side with faster reaches coming down to the floor. There we go. Last few, folks. We go finish in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so 40 seconds of rest. Water, recover, get a high five. We finish up with our third movement down here, full body crunches. Full body crunches coming up. So this is gonna keep you on the back. We got 20 seconds and we'll start. Okay? Take a moment. Now, if you're feeling really good, you can just get to them right now. I'm not going to stop you from doing that sort of thing. They tend to work Sarah pretty good. This is a favorite of hers. Okay, so full body crunch is going to have everything lifted. Let's begin in 3, 2, and 1. Now, more manageable approach here. We can keep one foot on the floor and still work on hugging everything in and controlling going out. Okay, so if you're doing that, maybe you're going on one side only, and then we'll switch to the second leg in our second round here. So if you're going manageable approach, put the foot and keep it down on one side. Second time around, we'll go to the opposite side. Perfect. Okay, we got ourselves about 10 seconds remaining. I love how she's going smoothly. This is key. This is key. This is not a speed contest. This is a form contest. In 3, in 2, in 1. The pulse is in that upright seated position, and it's going to be just a small crunch in and out, keeping her chest high. In 3, 2, 1. She's going to stay tall through the spine. She's finding kind of a smooth breathing pattern. Make that even a little bit smaller, not quite so far out. Bingo, bingo. But we can tighten it up. That's truly our pulse right here. Now, more manageable approach. One foot's on the floor, right? Same foot on the floor as last time. Finished up in 3, 2, 1. We go lateral shuffles to finish set number 1 right here. So get on up, get in position, feet wide, knees bent. In 3, 2, 1. Shuffle it, tap. Shuffle it, tap. Perfect. Or step and squat. Lateral step, straight squat down and up. There we go. So working into good time in here, 15 seconds, we're halfway there. Round number 1, hopefully we're getting that heartbeat going upwards. We're finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. That is break time, that is breather, that is high five time. That is get yourself some water time. Nicely done, everybody. Nicely done.
Lighten up my weight.
Tricks of the trade over here. If you're using your water bottle, you just drink a little bit of that stuff, and all of a sudden you're not fighting so much resistance all the way through. We're going to do this same exact thing for a second time. So I want everyone to get that little bit of water in. I'm just about ready to put on 10 seconds. So you hurry and you hustle and you get yourself where you need to be. And it's going to be squats and wides arm lifts coming up. 10 seconds and we get going. So squat position, maybe some cans, maybe some water bottles. You're going to lift them wide out to the sides, bring them together in 2, in 1, bring it down, bring it up. And if you need more manageable, elbows, keep them close. We do that little squat and we just pull those elbows straight back. Once again, more manageable, we're here and we just pull those elbows straight back. Whatever you're doing, think control. So as Sarah's lifting up, she's going to feel a lot more of the top of the shoulders creating that lift, right? If she's coming down, this is where I want the lats working harder. The lats are right here in her back. So finding and feeling those in the control back down. Once again, squats, we're using heels. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's put the weights, or keep the weights, and we've got the pulse next. Pulse next. Just that squat. In 3, 2, 1. We go to the bottom and we hold, right? Wherever your bottom point is, and then as small up and down as you can control here. Let's continue to find weight in the middle of the foot or towards that heel position, but not in the toes. Middle of the foot to heel. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Those weights go down, we go side shuffling, cardio time. Get set, feet are gonna be wide. You got 1 click and a tap to the floor. In 2, in 1, let's move it. Lateral shuffle, good. Now, if your knees are feeling okay, you can bend and get low into this. If your knees are kind of bugging you, not as much depth, okay? You could stay higher and maybe you don't even reach that hand all the way to the floor. Your choices through here. Got ourselves about 10 seconds remaining, last few. It's an opportunity to crank it up if you're feeling good. Perfect, finished up in 3, 2, and 1. We've got 40 seconds of rest. 40 seconds of rest. Next movement is the hip press and the tricep press combo. Hip press, tricep press combo coming up. So on your back. Right. So the starting point that I love is to have the arms extended up as well as the hips up. And this kind of just reminds you as to where you want to get to at the top each time. Okay. You lower everything down, the weights go overhead, and you extend and push through the backs of those arms for the tricep work. In 3, in 2, in 1. Lower everything and extend and press. Now once again, our good breathing with this. Breathe in, come into the floor. Breathe out when you push up. Think pushing up is the most challenging part right here. We're going to assist that with a strong breath out. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Stay in that zone. Let's find the low back helping you. Let's find those glutes doing work. Of course, those back arms firing. All right, less than 10. Last few, everybody. We go finished in 3, 2, and 1. Next up is just that hip pulse. Just the hip pulse. Weights can go on the hips or they can go to the side. We're going to stay to the top in 3, 2, 1. Small presses up and down. Same breathing. It just becomes a little shortened. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Little. There we go. Glutes are working. Find them, feel them. Heels are working. Find them, feel them. Last few in 3, 2, 1. We go cardio next. Put the weights aside, stand back up, and take the feet a little bit wide as your start. In 3, 2, 1. One shuffle, one tap. One shuffle, one tap. If you need to, you can step it. If you need to, you don't have to go super low into that squat. But just get yourself moving, folks.
Easy for you to say.
I know, it's really easy for me to say. I feel like I'm barely even breaking a sweat today. It's like 70 degrees outside. Now Sarah looked at me before we started and she goes, do we have to do the cardio after each one today? I said, gotta do it for the people. In 2, in 1. That is breather. Okay, 40 seconds of rest, final movement coming up. It's that full body crunch. All right, for those of you on my manageable approach on this one, remember last time we had a single leg down? Well, this time I want you to switch which leg is down. Okay, more manageable approach, switch which leg is going to be down, as you need a little bit of help here. That's cool. 15 seconds, we get going. So finish up that water. Let's start to kind of come down to the floor and get on the back if we're not there already. Remember, as your start point, everything is already lifted from the floor. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Lift up and crunch and extend out wide, coming back down. If you can go wide as you're coming back out, you were getting so much more out of this movement. As you crunch in, breathe out. Okay? Bring it in and breathe out. Empty. Make those core muscles fill that space. 20 seconds. There we go. Remember, that foot can be down. If you're burning out, put a foot down. Take that breather opportunity. 10 seconds, everybody. We're going to pulse to follow. Stay into it. Last little bit of our workout in round 1 here. In 3, in 2, in 1. Okay, sit up. We're going to stay in that seated position and do those little pulsing crunches right here. In 3, 2, 1. She's just going a little bit in, a little bit out. There we go. When she comes forward, breathe out. Come forward. There we go. Okay, we got ourselves 10 seconds. Last little bit. Stay into it. Work through it. That single leg can be down. Finished up. In 3, in 2, in 1. Cardio. Last cardio of the day. Come back up. Get into that stance. Let's wrap it up. In 3, 2, and 1. Give me that shuffle and that tap. Perfect. Figure it out in the beginning, right? Let's get everything coordinated and good. And then, once you're feeling good, ramping it up, adding to what we're doing. The last opportunity on this cardio move, you're halfway through, 15 seconds remaining.
Too much of this one.
Too much of this
We
one.
need to go back to bicycles.
Okay, we'll go back to bicycles in future episodes. Foreshadowing happening.
This is
In 3, in 2, in 1. All right, good. That is break time. That is breather, everybody. You have done a phenomenal job. High fives all the way around. We'll do that little Steph Curry between the legs and over there. NBA season, is it gonna happen? No idea. Personally, big Warriors fan over here. Kind of hoping that they just call it a season. The Warriors take that #1 pick. Bring back Steph and Clay next year. All right, so folks, get that water. We're getting into our Tabata sets next here. 2010's coming up for a Tabata. What Sarah and I are gonna do are show you the movements that are coming up. So we've got 5 movements total. A couple of them are gonna be single-sided movements. We're gonna start out using a heavier weight, and it's gonna be a lunge step of going both forward and backward. So you could also do this without body weight, no problem with that as well. We're gonna just simply take a step forward lunge, and then same foot steps behind us for that same lunge. Okay, so we go 20 seconds on one side like so, before we switch to the opposite, more manageable approach. You can kind of just bend those knees a little bit less, but always keeping that weight up front. Second movement takes you to the floor. We're gonna go hands and knees position, and our back leg's gonna extend, and it's gonna start a little bit out to the side. We're gonna lift it up and over and wrap it around the opposing foot. So creating kind of a rainbow or an arch side to side, and utilizing your glute to really do that. You go 20 on one side, you rest for 10, you go 20 on the other. Then we're gonna switch into the moderate weight in our seated position for a good Russian twist. So we wanna have kind of those same positionings that we did for the pulse, and the opposite leg. Oh, sorry, you're right, jeez. Russian twist, not passing my basketball, I can't get rid of it. All right, give me a rotation to one side, bring it back up, and then rotation to the opposite side. Good. Now if you need, one foot can be on the floor as that manageable approach. Keep yourself a little bit more active through there, keep you moving. Hands behind you for fourth movement. It's crab walk position, opposite hand and foot touching up in front here. You can also, as a more manageable approach, just come up and back down. Okay, you're welcome to go up and back down as a manageable approach. And then we finish back on the floor doing each side of this combo. Listen closely. We're gonna start with our feet wide in our plank, and one hand is gonna touch our opposite shoulder. That hand comes back down, and then the knee crosses the body to that same hand. So opposite hand shoulder touch, opposite knee elbow touch, okay? If you wanted to get real fancy with this one, you can keep the hold of the hand, bring the knee in, okay? So you can practice doing that, or if you need that more manageable approach, I want you on the knees from here, and we're just gonna be doing that tap, trying to keep the shoulders and the hips stable throughout that. No movement. The more you can minimize movement, the more we get out of that. That's our Tabata series. I hope that's clear. We're gonna get started with those forward backwards lunges. I want you to grab any weight that you would like for it now, and we've officially got 10 seconds on the clock. So forward backwards lunges is where we start. Weight in hand or not, we get going in 3, 2, and 1. Step forward, and then bring it straight back. Now, the forward heel, it switches with each of those steps, but it's always the one in charge. This is where we want the body's weight and power as we come back up, pushing through that heel in front. Finished up in 3, 2, 1. You got 10 seconds of rest. Switching your sides coming up. Same thing, let's work on stability. Start in 3, in 2, in 1. Go ahead, stabilize through the core. Tight belly to help. And forward heel in charge, 10 seconds. Once we're done with this, we go to the floor. Hands and knees are gonna start in 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it to the floor. Hands and knees position. One leg is extended straight out and to the side. In 3, 2, 1. Create that arch with the lift. And let's find your butt doing the work, okay? That leg that's extended, that glute and that hip is where we want the action here. You can tighten up your belly. If you can breathe steadily, we are making this more and more successful. Good. Finished up in 3, 2, 1. We rest for 10. Next side coming up. All right, beginning in 3, 2, 1. The control and the arch, right? Practice this. It's not about the speed, it's about the control. And how can you kind of smooth it out side to side? Steady breathing, tight bellies. We go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We go moderate weight next, seated position, Russian twist, or you could do the basketball pass if you're really feeling good. In 3, 2, 1. She's in that same approach, kind of that V position. She's keeping her chest high and her back straight. This is really key. The more you can do this, the more core you're doing, and the safer you're keeping yourself as well. Steady breathing. I want you finding an in and out with your breath. There we go. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Put the weight down, hands behind you, crab walk position. Opposite hand and foot will tap above you, or you just go up and down. In 2, in 1. Here we go. Work back shoulder stability right here. Work hip stability. That foot that stays, find that hip working. Good, and then find the breathing. Last few. Go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We finished towards the floor. We've got that plank with the opposite hand to shoulder tap and that opposite knee crunch in 3, 2, 1. First up is shoulder tap, bring it down, and then opposite knee to opposite elbow. One side only, one side only. If you wanted to go next level, tap and hold and then practice bringing that knee in from there, or do this from the knees and just tap that shoulder. In 2, in 1, rest for 10, second side coming up. Remember, the wider the feet, the more stable you are. Beginning in 3, 2, 1, tap, and bring it in. Good. So take it slow in the beginning. Make sure that your brain is connected to what your body needs to be doing, right? Once you've figured that out, then get playful. Let's push the approach of a bigger challenge. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. That is rest time, that is break time. Whew, nicely done, everybody. Nicely done. So take a small breather, rest and recover. Got ourselves one more round here.
Just one?
Just one. All right. Get yourself some water. Get ready for it. We've got a second round of Tabata to follow. And we're going to be standing up as we get started. So this is going to be that forward back lunge. This is your second and final opportunity to get to it today. Grab that heavy weight if you need it. 10 seconds is on the clock. You've got a forward and back step and lunge on one side only. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Step into that and then bring it back. Keep that weight in that forward heel as where that pressure and that push is coming from. Let's tighten up the belly, right? Focus the attention of the body by staying tight through our midsection. Last few. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Rest, recover. Next side is coming up. More manageable approach. You're not going very low. In 3, in 2, in 1. Step into it and bring it back. Good. Sarah went next level. She grabbed those weights. She wanted to get more out of it.
You better not
I love
surprise
it.
me with another round.
Oh, should I surprise her? Would you all like one more round out there?
No, I'm
What
not
do you
doing
think?
it.
What do you think? She's striking like an Amazon worker. All right. In 3, 2, and 1. We're going to the floor next. Hands and knees. Okay. Extended leg and arching up and over. Beginning in 3, 2, and 1. Control the up and down. Let's make it smooth. Listen, everybody. I want you to give me a thumbs up or a like if you think that Sarah should be doing another round, okay? I'll remember this for future videos and we'll make sure to give her a good surprise here or there. You let me know. In 2, in 1. Rest. Next side coming up. Extended leg. Let's do a little bit more. Tighten the belly as we go now. Beginning in 3, 2, 1. Smooth up and down. Let's find that arch. There we go. Push some hands into the floor. Feel more. Recruit shoulders. Recruit those lats. All right, last few. Finished up in 3, 2, 1. Moderate weight, Russian twist. Turn it around, sit down. We get going in 3, 2, 1. Moderate has 1 foot on the floor. Moderate has 1 foot on the floor. And bigger rotations, we're getting more out of what we're doing. Recruiting more, maximizing our time. Perfect. Sarah's brought those arms out to get more out of it too. Breathing steady to that finish. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Weight goes down, hands behind you. Crab walk position, opposite hand and foot tapping at the top of things. We start you in 3, in 2, in 1. Bring it up and tap. Perfect. You can also have that option of just straight up, straight down. Straight up, straight down. Okay. And I called it out last time, find the hip. One leg stays put, let's find the hip keeping us balanced. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Flip it to the floor. Give me that single arm plank where we're gonna do the tap and then we're gonna bring that knee across. Manageable is on your knees. In 3, 2, 1. Tap the opposite shoulder. Bring that opposite knee to opposite elbow. Opposite shoulder, opposite knee to opposite elbow. One side only, 10 seconds, then we switch it. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Rest for 10. I love Sarah's recovery right here. She's getting into that downward dog. She's stretching the back of the legs. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. Opposite hand to shoulder, opposite knee to elbow. And this is the end of your workout, folks. Let's make it count. Show me stable. Show me smooth. Show me control. Last few, we go finished up in 3, in 2, and that is breather time, that is break time, that is high five time, that is nice weekend time. Woo! All right, y'all, kind of brush those shoulders off, shake out the neck, get a little dirt off them shoulders, take a little weight off the body. Let's get to a little bit of stretching. As I had alluded to in the beginning of things, stretching is going to be a little bit more condensed today, so let me just throw on a nice tune or two. And what we're going to show you are 2 options as you start your stretching today. So what we're going to do is Sarah's going to be on her back as the figure 4 option, and I'm going to be seated as the figure 4 option. Now you might remember when I was doing the figure 4 seated, I would tell you either come forward to make it a bigger stretch or sit back to lighten it up. Same thing. Let's find where it works best for you. Flex the toes on the bent knee side, okay? So on that extended out knee, flex the foot, keep your knee safe. Let's find a good belly breath in. Nice long belly breath out. Awesome, let's go ahead and just switch it over. Opposite leg up next. We wanted to talk to you guys about the beginnings of our May month here and how the beginning times of things are really great opportunities to often reset and thinking about how you want the next month ahead to go. So with that in mind, we wanted to share just a little bit of what we had talked about as a couple and working on in the month of May. We're gonna do butterfly stretch next. So stay on the back or seated, but bottoms of the feet now come together. We're going to allow the knees to drop to the floor. So we're finding the stretch through there. We're gonna kick back into that slower, deeper breathing. And I want you to make sure your neck muscles are a little soft here too. So Sarah and I actually a couple nights ago had a conversation, said, you know, it's the end of this month, it's the beginning of May. You know, what have we done? What are we trying to do? And I am so grateful to have a partner like her because it basically, you know, we have these same answers of let's continue to stay sober. Let's continue to try and eat really cleanly, go to the grocery store, just make our meals at home so that we have control over our health right now. Nice big inhale in, nice long exhale out. Okay, from here we're gonna get you into a leaning quad stretch. So join us into kind of the kneeling position with a foot out in front. We're gonna be a little further out in front. We're gonna lean into this a little bit extra too. So as we're here, this can be your start point, and this can be plenty for you already where you're feeling the back leg. If you can squeeze the glute back here, you can open the quad and the hip flexor. If you'd like, you can reach your opposite hand back to grab the opposite foot. Opposite hand to opposite foot, and that can add in just a little bit of extra quad stretch there. So we wanted to give you a few ideas on some grander ideas that we're thinking, but I hear a lot about people reading a ton of books right now, which is always so cool. I've talked about how I love to garden, so we'll be setting up the garden. And that's a place for us to kind of find zen and peace at home. Let's go ahead and move ourselves out of this and switch it. So sitting back, putting the right knee down, having the left foot, lowering the body forward into that kind of deep lunge. And if you're feeling good, you're gonna kind of reach opposite hand to foot behind you, or you can just keep it where we're here, okay? But I guess, you know, one of the things that I wanted to tout beyond having good ideas for what you want to accomplish is check in with your significant other too. Ask them questions, you know, let's make sure that we're all aligned in a household together. And then we can start working on like individual things that can build us up as healthier, more productive, happier people. Let's go ahead and release the foot if you're there. Bring yourself back to a kneeling position, and we're just gonna finish up with our butt on our heels and doing a little bit of upper body stuff. We're gonna put one hand to the floor and raise the opposite hand over and hold it for a few breaths. This is a bigger inhale breath, so I want you to feel that the ribs get to open when you inhale a little bit deeper. As you exhale, feel things contract a little bit. One more, good inhale in. And long exhale out. Let's go ahead and turn and switch. And as we're getting into springtime, we had talked about this a little bit yesterday too. Noticing that vitamin D plays a key component into our moods, as well as our fat loss, our immune system strength, and our bone density. So getting outside, doing some walks, maybe doing some walks early in the day. Sarah told us yesterday that before 10 a.m. is the best time for getting the best exposure to vitamin D for your body. Okay. Let's go ahead and come back up, and we're going to finish with a little neck stretch. One hand behind you, other hand is just going to lightly pull the head a little to the side and a little bit down. So we're kind of peering down right in front of us here. So maybe, you know, finding some extra time for a morning walk before your day starts, or a walk right after dinner so you get a little bit of a burn before your body's going to be in that restful state. Nice big inhale in, nice long exhale out. Let's go ahead and switch the hands, opposite side. Pull a little to the side, pull a little bit down towards the floor, and breathe, belly breath in. So what we'll leave you with is just simply asking you, what would you like to accomplish in this new state of living right now, right? We have limitations, and we also have a lot more capabilities to do things than maybe ever before. Nice big inhale in, long exhale out. Let's shake that out. Let's have ourselves a phenomenal May. Folks, we're doing this. We're making it through. I once again want to thank Sarah, who always does a killer job for me. She busts her butt, and now when we record these a few extra times, it's a lot of work out for her. So thank you. Thank you, boss. Love y'all. See you soon. Bye.